Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Dice Masters with James and Zach. I'm Zach.
And I'm James. Hello.
Hello. And this time, something a little bit different. We've got a combo video for you. We've done a couple other combos in the past, I think. Usually James comes up with these crazy combos and we talk about them. But this time, I have a combo to talk about. One that
Yay.
James doesn't want to touch with a 10-foot pole, I think.
A barge pole.
Yeah, this one has got a lot of flipping involved and is a mechanic that James is not particularly fond of. But anyway, um, this combo is going to involve the uncommon Catwoman from the Batman set, and she, while active, gets +1 attack each time you flip one of your cards until the end of turn. And so I set up a board state here. So I have, at some point, I've bought her and I fielded her. And then I've also bought and fielded the rare Absorbing Man from the Mighty Thor set. This one, when Absorbing Man is active, if a when fielded effect is used, you get to make a copy of it. And that'll be important here in a second. The other cards you can see are all sort of flippy cards. I've also brought Professor X to help me get sidekicks out. You can see I've set up a couple sidekicks. And mostly that would be to help me ramp with the Techno Global. I can also ramp using this Atlas Global, which is really helpful, but also just to thin my bag out. So I want to make sure that I draw everything I need on the same turn. So the beginning of my turn happens, and now I can flip all the cards that have the flip keyword. So I can't flip these ones, but I'll flip this one. So I'll flip Citizen V over, and I'll flip Catwoman over, and I'll flip Songbird. So my Catwoman is already getting +3 attack.
Gotcha.
Okay, James is going to keep track of the number for me. Okay,
So
so
is she? Okay, she's +3.
+3. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to draw and roll something like this, right? I'm going to get Citizen V on a face where I can field him, and I need another action. And the action that I've got is Under Surveillance, which is from Avengers Infinity, although you might remember it as Stealth Ops from War of Light. It basically makes a character unblockable and level 1.
Right.
Okay, so I am going to pay an energy and field Citizen V. And his ability says, when fielded, you may flip any number of other Bolt character cards, or Thunderbolt character cards, sorry. So I'm going to flip Songbird and Techno, and oops, sorry, and Techno's in a sleeve, but I need the backside now. And Mach 1 and Atlas. So
Jesus.
that's
That's
+4.
7.
Yeah, so I'm up to +7. However, Techno and Mach 1 and Atlas have this special thing where if they're not active, flip this card. So I'm going to
No.
flip them back over again. 1,
Oh,
2, 3. And
3.
now they've gotten
That's
+10,
10.
right? Okay.
+10.
So Catwoman's gotten +10 because of all that. However, because I have Absorbing Man out, I get to copy that effect. And since the effect says other Thunderbolt cards, and it's now Absorbing Man doing it, I can also flip Citizen V this time. So I'm going to flip
Oh.
him and
Okay.
Songbird and Techno and Mach 1 and Atlas. And now I've gotten +5.
Wow, that's +15.
But also, once again, this needs to go 1, 1,
No
1.
way. That's
So
+18.
+18 attack for Catwoman right now.
I like it.
And Citizen V is now active, and my non-villain character dice get +1/+1. Catwoman, having being carefully flipped to the Batman side and not the villain side, is a
That's
non-villain. So she's
plus
getting
19.
+19. And since I'm going to use the Under Surveillance action, she'll be treated like a level 1 Catwoman, which is a 1/2. And that's going to give her exactly 20 attack.
Unblockable
Unblockable.
20. Yeah.
So, how feasible is it to pull off? Well, I mean, I had to buy a 3-cost character, a 4-cost character, and a 6-cost character, and then an action. So I've only bought 4 things. And the 6 cost, I think, is the hardest part. But none of them have particularly bad fielding costs. And the thing I love about the combo is that all of these 4 characters are going to give me all these buffs, and I never even have to touch their dice. But I do appreciate the globals on both Techno and Atlas that will help me ramp up to 6 to buy that Citizen V in the first place. And then I think the
Yeah.
hardest part is just making sure that you get your action and Citizen V on the same turn.
That might be the hardest part for you.
Yeah, yeah, right. Which
For
is
me,
why
the
I'm thinking,
hardest part
if you
would
just get a
be
bunch of sidekicks in the field, you can do it that way.
right.
Also, if they didn't have a huge field and somehow, I don't know, they prevented 1 or 2 of the damage, maybe you could just swing with everything else and maybe they can't block all of it. The other thing to think about, obviously you have one giant unblockable character, but, distraction is a thing. Kate Bishop is a thing. And so Nefarious Broadcast would prevent that from happening, but it does add a slight level of complexity in that now you need Under Surveillance and Nefarious Broadcast and Citizen V all on the same turn. Although luckily
No
Citizen
problem.
V has 0/1/1 fielding costs, so the one extra die you have could be the energy you need.
I think Scarlet Witch might have something to say about that.
Well, that is true. Yeah, so there's a couple ways it could go wrong, but I don't think it's as outlandish as it seems.
I like it.
Anyway, so you got to be a little bit careful at how everything starts off, but I think if you do it right, these two cards are the only ones you need to worry about, and they need to start on these sides at the beginning of your turn. Citizen V has to be the villain and Thunderbolt, and then Catwoman has to be the villain, and otherwise, everything else just kind of works out as long as you know what you're doing. I'd love to see if anybody tries it, but that is my fun combo for today.
Does it not matter what side the others are on? Because on one of their sides it says you have to flip back if they're not active, but on the other it doesn't. Or...
Well, these ones, they have to start on this side, so you actually can't put them on any other side. And then Songbird is just there to be a flip, so it doesn't really matter what side she's on because she's just going to give us the flip. But the nice thing about her is that you get to do that flip for free at the beginning of the turn, and then 2 more times because of Citizen V and Absorbing Man.
Right, and so, they are all the Thunderbolts are Thunderbolts on both sides, but villains on one side.
Exactly, yeah. They have the extra affiliation on the back. And so if only you could give Catwoman the Thunderbolt affiliation, you could flip her a couple more times too. So anyway, there might be some other ways that you could do it, but the idea of being able to flip characters and then get them flipped back for free, I just love that concept. So anyway, I thought I would try it out. You could also include the rare bat signal, and then you could get another flip in there somewhere. But I think it would only be 2, right? Because you'd flip one of these characters and then you'd flip it back. And so you could get 2 more that way. If you didn't want to go for the Under Surveillance route, you could do that to get a couple bat signals out and then get a couple of these guys to flip a second time. So you get even more than 20, and then you could give her Overcrush or something. So, yeah. Anyway.
Cool. Nice one.
Yeah. So feel free to try this one out and let us know how it goes in the comments. And otherwise, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.